Hey, excuse me. Hi.
Yeah?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah?
Yeah, I just saw you walking by. You don't seem like party girl.
No? No, I'm more fit girl.
Yeah? Why don't we hang out just for a little bit? Maybe get like a water or a drink or a tea or something.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Trying to get to trader show.
Oh, shit. And then I came in, I took over
like,
the whole regular, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. If you come to Brickell, we could just walk around Brickell. I'll show you the apartment and we walk around. So I'll hit you up tomorrow. Let me know what's going on with work and we can set something up, okay?
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Okay,
We'll talk soon, okay? There's nothing worse than getting into a conversation with a girl that you're really attracted to. You manned up, you made the approach, or maybe you're even on a date with her already. And then at some point, you get that awkward moment in the conversation. You start panicking, thinking of what are all the potential things I could say, the next question I could ask her. And then there's just this awkward silence, flat line to the vibe of the interaction. I've been there before. I have painful flashback memories as I'm literally saying these lines out loud.
How was your day?
Not bad. I went to the gym earlier.
Okay.
Got a workout in, and then we got some food, and work's going good. I've actually never been to Italy. I've been wanting to go to Italy. Going to sleep?
No.
I'm gonna show you guys 7 different ways to guarantee you never have a dull, awkward moment in your conversation ever again, even if you're introverted. The first 2 points that I want to explain to you guys are exercises you could do at home to build up the social muscle. I'm not exaggerating when I say these drills are life-changing. You can actually become extroverted while at your house alone. So give me a minute. I want to explain these 2 drills a little bit more in depth. And then for the remaining 5 points, these are going to be live in the field techniques. I'll show you guys how I'm doing this in conversation. But first we need to understand why. Why are you actually running out of things to say? Because there's a couple different reasons. It's either A, you're extremely nervous or anxious, so you're super in your head, like you can't even relax in the conversation, and so you're panicking. Or it's B, you just haven't actually warmed up for the day, so you're not already in a social mood when you get into that interaction. Or it's C, you just haven't actually built up your social muscle in general, like you have a weak social muscle, in which case I'm gonna show you how to build that muscle. Or it's D, which is you just don't have the tactical skills or tools that you need to inject into these conversations yet. So let's get into the 7 different ways I can guarantee you won't run out of things to say ever again. Let's get into number 1, which is the talk forever drill. So this drill is going to show you how to have free word association so you can switch topic effortlessly. You'll also be able to cultivate the skill set to talk for 10 minutes straight, as well as just speaking with no filter, which are powerful skill sets to prevent you from running out of things to say. So the way that the drill works is that you want to set a timer for 10 minutes. You're going to say a random sentence, and then you want to pick one word from that sentence and take that word and make a brand new sentence that is completely off topic from the previous sentence. And then you want to continuously do that one sentence after another, after another, after another for 10 minutes in a row. And this drill is meant for you to not make logical sense with it, okay? That's part of the drill. You're going to practice speaking almost illogically. Most dudes get so caught up in linear conversation that they just stay on that topic indefinitely and it gets very boring. So by being able to speak with free word association, it will actually teach you how to spontaneously jump from topic to topic, as well as just get you warmed up socially for the day. I would recommend doing this before you go out to go interact with the world. And just to show you guys a quick example of how to do the drill, you want to set a timer for 10 minutes, sit down on the couch, and just start by saying a random sentence like, right now I'm sitting on the couch recording this video. And video reminds me of a VHS video, because when I was younger, we didn't have a DVD player. We needed to take the video and put it into the slot underneath the TV player. And slots is something that's only really played in casinos, because I actually moved to Miami like 6 months ago, but they have the Hard Rock Casino in Fort Lauderdale. I've been dying to go over there, but dying isn't really something I plan on doing anytime soon. And I always wanted to take action sooner rather than later. And I was never really big into acting. I was always, my philosophy was always just be real, raw, and authentic as possible, and people should really like you for who you are. So that's how you do the drill. And if you ever run out of things to say, you just want to chill and just say a completely brand new sentence. This drill will literally teach you how to not run out of things to say. Now from there, that brings me into tip number 2, which is the 10-minute topic drill. And this is kind of the opposite of what the first drill was, but the idea with this one is that you want to pick a topic and just talk about that one topic for 10 minutes in a row. So you would set a timer and just think of a random object or random topic, and then you want to just talk about that topic for 10 minutes straight. And the reason you want to do this is because you're actually going to build up a completely different muscle. The Talk Forever drill is going to show you how to spontaneously be jumping from topic to topic to topic and speaking with no filter. But this drill teaches you how to stay on the topic and think about new ways that you could kind of elaborate on the topic, which is a completely different muscle, both of which are essential to actually be able to talk forever and not run out of things to say. So if you could just stack these two drills together, maybe when you wake up in the morning, you could do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, 10 minutes, or if you're on a morning drive to the gym or to work or your commute or in the shower, spend some time doing these drills. You will literally be able to build up your social muscles before you even leave the house for the day. And I genuinely think that just warming up, practicing the social skills out loud, even if you're by yourself, that just puts you into a social flow by the time you actually get out to these environments, and then you'll be in a much better headspace to continuously talk because you've already been doing it. So those first two exercises are what you could do at your house to just put you into a social flow before you even go out. Now I want to talk about some practical stuff we could actually be doing in the interactions itself. And before we transition into the next point, I just wanted to say really quickly, guys, if you're interested in fast tracking this process, click the button down below, check out my brand new coaching program. More details on that at the end of the video, but let's get into the next point, which brings me into point number 3. Have 3 good stories to tell. The good news about having conversation with people is that it's very predictable. A lot of the times when I'm interacting with strangers in my day-to-day, when I'm going up and interacting with women, or even if you're on dates with women, it's the same conversation topics over and over and over again. You're never gonna get hit with a brand new question that you've never been asked before. I have heard every single question, every single conversation topic. I know all the answers, and I also know all the answers that most women are going to say as well. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing because you already know now what's going to be on the test. So with that being said, all you need to do is have 3 good stories. And I would actually recommend you make these stories very common questions that you would most likely get asked in a conversation, which is going to be something like, what do you do for fun? What do you do for work? Where are you from? What's your ethnicity? Anything about you that's kind of like a common topic of conversation, you want to actually take some time and write out your answer. I mean, literally go to the keyboard, go to the notepad and write out a paragraph of a flavorful answer that you could describe one of these topics about yourself. Most dudes never have taken the time to actually just prepare a story about this thing. You almost look at it like as if it's your elevator pitch, right? You have a couple easy stories that you could tell any person that explains a little bit about yourself in a very attractive way. And I would actually recommend that you make it a pretty long story because most dudes, they run out of things to say. So if you already have a very long story prepared, you can always condense it down or elongate it depending on what phase of the conversation we're in. If I'm only a couple minutes into a cold approach or an elevator conversation, it's gonna be a very short one. If I'm on a date, it could go really long. So if some girl says, oh, I really like your tattoos, I always have this one story about how I ended up getting this first piece from my dad. And it was funny because when I was 19, I actually didn't want my mom to see the tattoo. I actually hid it from her for about a week after I got the tattoo. And I was like embarrassed to actually show her the tattoo, even though it was for my dad, you know, rest in peace. And my mom loved him very much. For whatever reason, I was like literally embarrassed to show my mom the tattoo. And so I kept wearing long sleeves when I would go into the kitchen. So one night after I got the tattoo, the ink actually was imprinted on one of my pillows because I slept on the pillow with my arm like this. And I went upstairs to wash the pillowcase and I forgot to move it into the dryer later. And so my mom went in and she saw the pillowcase with this tattoo thing and she came over to me like showing it to me. And so she like literally caught me with the tattoo because of like the pillowcase. I don't even know why I thought it was gonna be a big deal. She loved the tattoos. She literally started crying and like hugged me. And so that was like the first one that I got for him. And ever since then, I just loved the aesthetic. So I went from that to this and I just kept going. But what about you? Do you have any tattoos? So that's a very dragged out story, but it does inject a lot of different points. Like I talk about how I always wanted tattoos. I got it from my dad. He passed away. I told a story about my mom and there was kind of like this funny element to it. And that's just one story that I did about tattoos. All right, I can have a story about how I grew up antisocial and I was just obsessed with video games and my first girl left me for another dude. That pushed me to really dive deep into self-development, which led to me actually starting my own channel. And now years later, I ended up building a business off of it because I'm very passionate about coaching men who are in a similar position to what I was at when I was younger. I could make that story so long. I have a 5-hour audiobook on that story, literally. So you want to take some time and write out 3 good stories for yourself. And I'm not saying you're going to use these stories forever. It's just a good starting base that you could use as a fallback when you're in conversation or you're in a jam and you don't really know what else to say. You could tell these stories. And now that you have those 3 stories, that actually brings me into point number 4, which is ask the person the questions that you want to answer. Typically in a conversation, someone asks a question to one person. That person then answers the question. They have some back and forth dialogue, and then that person will ask the first person, but what about you? Right? So typically in conversation, we could assume that if you ask somebody a question, how's your day going? They're going to say, it's good. How about you? So now that we already have our flavorful answers from point number 3, and you're well versed with these, all you want to do is just ask the person in a curious way the same question that if they asked it back to you, you already have your answers good to go. It's literally like cheating on the test. And why this is so good is because you don't want to just inject your answers. If you just ask them the question first and then they put it back on you, it seems less try hard. It seems like you weren't trying to bring the topic of conversation to this. They actually asked you, which creates this massive doorway for you to now tell this story. And even if they don't ask you back, you don't need permission from them to tell your story. If I just ask them, oh, do you have any tattoos, by the way? And they say, no, I actually don't. Even if they don't ask me back, I could say, oh, damn, that's a shame. The first tattoo I ever got was from my dad. It was this piece. I could still segue right into my story. It doesn't matter that they didn't ask me if I have tattoos. So just by asking them, we're already in a position where I can just kind of crack the door open and go into my answer anyway. Let's move into point number 5, which is personal input. And in my opinion, this is one of the best tools to use, even if you don't have too much to say. It's a great way to actually talk about something that you don't have too much to talk about, which is why most dudes actually run out of things to say to begin with. Like if I ask somebody, how's your day going? And they say, good, you? Most dudes will just say good. Instead of just saying good or my day was good, I'd rather you just elaborate on your experience so far of your day. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. The bar is actually set really low when it comes to conversation. Most people just don't say words. Literally, they'll say a very short sentence and the conversation dies. Majority of conversation is just you being able to carry a sentence with a good vibe and charisma. If you could say a decent amount of words with a good vibe, the other person now has something to latch onto to respond with. So instead of saying, yeah, my day was good, I want you to elaborate on your day. How was your day? Oh, it was good. How about you? I mean, honestly, dude, it was all right. Nothing too crazy was going on. It was one of those days where I just kind of was just chilling at home. It was raining outside. It was kind of, it was a kind of gloomy day, honestly. But at some point it stopped raining. So I was like, you know what, let me just go for a walk just to get some fresh air. And so I popped out over here, ended up getting a coffee, and now I'm over here, man. It's not like I said anything crazy. All I said was, it's been a boring day. It was raining. I'm outside. I bought a coffee. You can just say those things and you could actually connect with somebody on that conversation. You don't need to have just jumped out of an airplane and went on a roller coaster and got off of a mega yacht to have conversation. It's just about you extending the conversation with sentences. So just talk about your experience or your thought on the topic, even if you don't have too much. Like even if they say like Miami and you're like, damn, Miami, I'd never even been there. I don't even really know too much about it. Like when I think of Miami, honestly, I just think of like palm trees and like warm weather and beaches. It's almost like vacation home. How is it over there? You've been enjoying it? Instead of me saying, oh, you're from Miami? How is it? Elaborate in between. Oh, you're from Miami? Then I talk about my thought about Miami. It just makes it a much more flavorful conversation. And now they have something to respond to, which is why this tool is so powerful. Let's move into point number 6 of how to never run out of things to say, which is commentate on the way that they answered the question. So most dudes, when they're in a conversation, they have a very linear progression on that same topic, which sounds something like, where do you go to school? Oh, you went there? Cool. What year in school are you in right now? Oh, you already graduated. Oh, what was your major? You see how they just stay on that same topic of question answer on the same boring topic? And so instead of doing that with point number 6, you want to comment on the way that they answered the question. So most people, when they answer a question, they'll answer their question with some type of emotion. They either answer it in an unenthusiastic way or an excited way, or they laugh when they said the answer. They give off some type of emotion when they give their answer. And instead of just answering the words, you can comment on the emotion behind their answer and then make an assumption off of that. So if I asked somebody, how's your day going? They said, It's all right, man. What about you? Instead of me just answering the question and going on that boring topic, I could comment on the emotion he had behind his answer. So if he said, it's going good, how about you? I would say, damn, man, you sound like you've been having kind of like a dull morning. Has it been a stressful day so far, or what's up with you, bro? And now they're gonna be a lot more likely to respond to the emotion because they were so caught up in the word for word. You hit them with a pattern interrupt by commenting on the emotion that they responded with. So if I say, how's your day going? And they say, oh my God, it's going so good. How about you? Instead of me saying good, you, I might say something like, damn, you're in a really good mood for a Monday morning. Did you not have work this morning or what? You must have slept in, didn't you? I make an observation about their emotional response, and that leads to an assumption. They were either happy, so something good must have happened. They're dull, so it must have been a boring day. They're tired, they must have just finished up break, or maybe they're headed to go get a coffee, or they're like really excited because it's the end of the day, so maybe they're had a long work week and they're excited for the weekend. So these are easy tools to get pattern interrupts to get you onto new topics of conversation, because it's much easier to connect with people on emotional experiences versus situations. A lot of us haven't been in the same situations, but we've all experienced the same emotions in one situation or another. So it's very easy to connect with people when you're talking about the emotions instead. And that's why number 6 is a very powerful technique. Pay attention to the way that they respond in their answers and make observations, make comments about the emotions that could also lead to another assumption or another leading question. And now let's get into point number 7, which is actually a very easy one, but dudes have the wrong mindset or perspective on conversation itself, and so they don't utilize this tool enough. Because typically when you're in an interaction, most dudes, like I said earlier, they have this very linear progression to conversation. They just ask a question, they get an answer, they ask like another question that's on the same topic, they get another answer, and they kind of stay on that thread indefinitely until that thread kind of dies out. Instead, what I want you to do is just ask a completely random, different question. It's okay to just abruptly switch topic. I know you guys think it's gonna be very awkward and very random, and the person might even be like, whoa, that was random. Like, where'd you ask me that question from? That's so out of left field. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is. If you're just genuinely curious about something, or you bring the right energy into the question or the conversation, you can abruptly just switch topic and nobody will even notice, because most women, they don't even speak in linear progression anyway, and most people, they have boring, mundane conversation the majority of their day. So if you can just spontaneously switch topic and ask a brand new question with a little bit of enthusiasm, nobody's even gonna think twice about it. They'll just answer the question and you're on a completely new topic. Worst case scenario, if it's actually that random, you could say, actually, random thought, but by the way, blah, blah, blah. You could just switch topic just like that. It's not a big deal. And I'm saying this from personal experience, because I was always like, I would have to study these like conversation flow charts, and dudes think it's like weird to just jump topic like that. It's not weird. It's not weird. It's only weird if you act weird around the whole thing, guys. So number 7 is probably the easiest one, but it's one of the most powerful ones, because if the conversation's dying, you just switch to a brand new topic. Maybe it's something that you already have a flavorful answer already laid out for, because you already did number 3. So all of these different tools, when you stack them together, are really powerful. You start out your day by doing talk forever drill and then 10-minute topic talk. You're already gonna be flowing, man. Commit to doing those drills every day. Those will change your life. They put you into a social flow, then you're going out for your day. Then when you find yourself in conversation, have some good stories that you're ready to tell, that you've practiced. They don't need to be super complicated, but have those ready. Then when you're in conversation, ask questions that are based around those stories. You can also just randomly switch topic. If somebody gives you an answer and you don't really have anything to say, start using personal input. Just start elaborating on your experience or your initial thought about that topic. And if someone ever answers a question of yours with some type of emotion behind it, you could comment on the emotion instead of their actual answer, and that could create a brand new conversation thread. And when you stack all of these things together, we're talking about a massive night and day difference from your boring, bland dude who doesn't have any social flow. He hasn't worked on the social muscle. He can't switch topic. He's really in his head. He doesn't know how to elaborate. He can't comment on anything that the person's giving, and he has no prepared stories to tell either. That dude is most men. You use the tools in this video, you will be the charismatic dude who's building up the social muscle every single day. He can switch topic in a non-linear, non-logical way. He has flavorful answers that he could always fall back on. He can elaborate on the conversation using personal input, and he can make observations based on the person's reactions. You stack all of those tools together, you're gonna be a social god. Now, the one missing piece to all of this is injecting some type of flirtatious energy into the conversation. Being able to talk in depth definitely is great. But if you're not actually creating a flirty interaction, you're not gonna really create attraction with women. So if you wanna learn how to do that, you're gonna wanna watch this video right here. Or if you wanna fast track this whole process to increase your social confidence, get an abundant dating life, level up any area of self-development as a man, click the button down below, check out my brand new program. Got an insane offer going on right now. You can work with me directly, 30-minute one-on-one call, daily live coaching calls every single day with me. The community's absolutely lit. You also have 100+ hours of all of my exclusive content. It's all wrapped up into one amazing brand new program for you. Click the button below, try out the program, 30 days risk-free. That's all for this video, fellas. Peace out.